Available in paperback at e-readers, Isis, Dark Incubus. The goddess next door gets enthralled in a romantic entanglement with an evil incubus in this all-new Isis series adventure. Get your copy of Isis, Dark Incubus in paperback and e-readers today. Historical Men in Crisis. One of my viewers wanted me to do another installment in the Historical Men in Crisis series. And for this installment in the Historical Men in Crisis series, I am going to be talking about teen mom to baby daddy Adam Lind. Now, Adam Lind is a reality star on the MTV reality show Teen Mom, and he's known for being the abusive ex-boyfriend of Chelsea Holska, who he had a daughter with in 2009, and is also known for having impregnated another woman, Taylor Harbour, in September of 2013. And Adam Lind is one of these guys who definitely fits the pattern and profile for beta males that I talk about in my book, The Man Crisis, and definitely is one of those guys who was never raised by a father based on the dysfunctional behavior he participated in. And it's clear to me that Adam Lind never got any of the male life skills or male survival skills that a boy got from a father due to the dysfunctional relationships he got involved with Chelsea Holska and Taylor Harbour. Basically, what happened with Adam Lind is like many of the black male pookies out here, these girls got with this guy basically based on their feelings, based on his looks. And as they got involved with this guy, they never had that father there to be that protector, to vet this guy who they got involved with based on their feelings. And as they got involved with this male, who they basically was emotional all about how good he looked at the time, they got involved with this man sexually. And as they got involved with this man sexually, this is what led to them thinking that, oh, they could be able to get social currency by having a sexual relationship with this man in a sexual relationship where they were not married. And as they went out here and got involved with Adam Lind at 16 years old, basically what happened to both of these girls is they wound up getting pregnant and being put on the road to single motherhood. And that's basically where Adam Lind fell into the pookie paradigm that many beta males run into when they go out here and have sexual relations with these girls as related to the sexual miseducation they have received. Because when it comes to many beta males, because they never had a father in their life to teach them their role as a man in God's order, or teach them about how to have sex as related to marriage in God's order, what these men do is go out here and get involved with girls, have casual sexual relationships with these girls in order to impress other men. And as they have these sexual relationships with girls to impress other men and get social currency with other guys, what happens is these girls wind up getting pregnant. And as they get pregnant, this is where the beta male becomes a man in crisis, because he becomes extremely angry about having to take responsibilities of a man, responsibilities that he's definitely not mentally or emotionally or spiritually ready for, because he does not have that spiritual foundation in Christ or the gospel, because his parents never taught him about his role as a man, as being a leader and a head and a steward who's responsible for the family he created. No, what happens with these beta males is these men basically are taught to follow the leadership of the authority of women, and they're looking for women to go out here and take care of them. And the prospect of having to take responsibilities of a man winds up overwhelming these males, and this is what leads to these males simmering and boiling in anger. And as they become angry about having to take the responsibilities of manhood and masculinity, what happens with these beta males is they start to go out here and express their anger towards the woman that they got involved with, or in this case, the teenage girl that they got involved with. And as they express their anger at that girl, what happens is these males go out here and start participating in antisocial behaviors like Adam Lind wound up doing as related to the numerous tattoos all over his body, and further escalate their behavior into going out here and participating in behaviors like alcoholism and drug use, and also participating in physical crimes against their partner because they become angry at their partners. They become extremely angry at their partners and start looking to participate in abusing their partners because they believe that these women basically ruin their life by having sex with them and getting pregnant. They believe that this woman ruined their life as related to going out here and getting pregnant, not understanding that part of the biological process of sexual relations is the whole result is supposed to lead to a girl becoming pregnant. This is what happens to a lot of these males because they get a sexual miseducation from Madison Avenue and Hollywood. And because Madison Avenue and Hollywood and the porn industry tell them that sex is something that they should do for pleasure and social currency, they don't really understand that the outcome of sexual intercourse is pregnancy. And this is why God reserved sex for marriage. That's something that guys like Adam Lind don't understand. And because they don't understand this fact about biology and sex that I learned back in my adolescence at 13 years old, these guys get angry as their whole quest for social currency leads to them having to take adult responsibilities, and they start taking out their anger on the women in their lives. This is what Adam Lind did to his baby mama, Chelsea Holska, who basically is the mother of his daughter, Aubrey, again, participating in a series of domestic violence charges, and participating in this series of domestic violence charges not only against Chelsea Holska, but also against his other baby mama, who is Taylor Habor. And Adam Lind has been in and out of jail over the last, I'd say, about 20 plus years. He has been in and out of jail with 30 plus arrests in his lifetime, and in and out of jail for the 30 plus years of his lifetime because he doesn't know his role as a man, doesn't understand he's supposed to be the leader of this relationship. He's supposed to be the steward who's supposed to be looking out for the women who he had relationships with. And he's supposed to be the one taking responsibility for caring for his children. That's what's happened with Adam Lind. And sadly, because he didn't get that education on his spiritual role as a man or a sexual education as related to the gospel, this is what led to Adam Lind winding up on the road to becoming a man in crisis, similar to many black male pookies who basically believe that they're just out here to get sexual access, to get social currency, and elevate their social status with other men. That's what many of these males out here learned during the time of the feminist movement as related to things due to the sexual revolution. Many males, ever since the days of the sexual revolution, see sex as a way to get pleasure and see a way to, again, elevate their social status. This is what they have been miseducated to believe by Madison Avenue advertisers, Hollywood movie studios, the porn industry, and it's made big business for these institutions which profit off this misconception. They profit off this misconception as related to economics, but socially what this has led is to the rise of the teen mom and the single mother. The single mother who basically perpetuates a vicious cycle of boys and girls growing up to become men and women in crisis. And Adam Lind basically was one of these men who grew up to become a man in crisis. and as he grew up to become a man in crisis due to the sexual miseducation he has received, this has led to him not living the abundant life that Christ wants him to live, but live a life where he's been in and out of jail, and not showing a model of manhood to his daughters. No, what his daughters are learning is what many black girls learn when they have Pookie as a daddy. What they learn from having Pookie as a daddy is to go out here and look for love from toxic men. And as they look for love for toxic men, because their father wasn't there to meet their emotional needs or nurture their emotional needs, is they go out here looking to get the attention of a guy based on how they feel about how cute he is, how good looking he is, but never looking at the content of his character. No, they just look at his appearance, and as they look at his appearance, all they see is how good he looks, but never look at what this man has to bring to the table in terms of value and character. And we never find that out because the single mother that raised them doesn't know how to vet that man the way a father would know how to vet a man. Because when a girl is out here looking to get with guys, a father's going to insist on meeting this dude. He's going to insist on meeting this dude. And if he understands anything about manhood, he's going to vet this dude. He's going to vet this dude and see what goals he has in life, what direction he has as related to his course in life, what he wants to achieve and accomplish, and how his daughter is going to fit into that picture. That's what a father is going to ask as related to the critical questions of who gets involved with his daughter. But sadly, when you have beta male fathers out here, what happens with many of these beta male fathers, again, what happens to these guys is that they don't know how to vet these guys, and they don't have the backbone or the stones to go out here and be able to vet these guys. No, they don't know how to go out here and vet these guys as related to things, and since they don't know how to vet a dude, what they do is try to please their daughters by, again, arguing with their daughters, and again, please their daughters as related to giving them what they want in many cases. And sometimes they'll argue with their daughters, about not being with this guy, and again, not go out here and check this dude at the door. Because when a girl sees a father who's standing up for her, this basically shuts these guys down and makes it where they don't want nothing to do with this girl, because what he wants to do is just go out here, get these girls to drop the skid mark jockey draws, and put his carbon rod on the atomic waste reactor for a taste of the waste for the special place. And he's looking for easy sexual access, and fathers basically close the door on that, and that's what leads to these girls basically, again, being protected. That's the protection that comes from a father. But sadly, the girls here who got involved with Adam Lynn, they didn't get any sort of protection. No, Aubrey Lynn DeBoer and Paisley Leonard didn't, that's the daughters he had with them. Those are the daughters he had with Taylor Habor and Chelsea Holska. Those girls got no protection, and sadly it created a vicious cycle where, again, these girls will grow up to become women in crisis just like their mothers, because men who are in crisis go out here and create children in crisis because they grow up to become children of the corn, just like their parents, grow up like stalks, grow up like wild stalks because they have no structure. And sadly, with Adam Lynn, a guy who looks like a Section 8 version of Sean Spears these days, this guy basically is one of the worst out there, again, in and out of jail. And you'll have a lot of people say, oh, black men, again, are the ones who go out here and have illegitimate children, but nobody wants to talk about the white guys like this. No, nobody wants to talk about the white pookies like this, Adam Lynn. Adam Lynn, who basically is the template for the man in crisis that they try to stereotype black men to be. There were more white guys doing this during the Great Depression than black men did in the 1970s when black women sided with the feminist movement. No, during the Great Depression, there were a whole lot of Adam Lynns, and those Adam Lynns were basically historical men in crisis, just like Adam Lynn is a historical man in crisis. a man who wasn't ready to be a man because he wasn't taught about his role as a man in God's order, wasn't taught to be a head and a steward, wasn't taught to be responsible for his community or responsible for anything that he did. No, he had just been taught to go out here by Madison Avenue, Hollywood, and the porn industry, to go out here and smash, and taught by his peers to go out here and get social currency by getting the panties, but wasn't ready to take the responsibility for the children that come from that sexual intercourse, wasn't taught to take responsibility for those children. And sadly, what's happened with Adam Lynn is he's a poster child for basically what happens when you have a boy who doesn't learn from his father how to be a man. What you get is a boy who's not ready to be a man, but just another man in crisis. Now, if you want to learn more about what leads to boys growing up to become dysfunctional beta males instead of becoming responsible men, you can pick up my book, The Man Crisis, on Amazon.com. In paperback and Kindle format. You can also find The Man Crisis at other online booksellers like Draft the Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And this was a video requested by a viewer as related to the Historical Man in Crisis series. And if you want me to make a video as related to the Historical Men in Crisis series, you can send a donation for a minimum of $15 to the PayPal or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this episode of Historical Man in Crisis. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, The Man Crisis. Learn why so many men are struggling to find their way in an increasingly gynocentric world in The Man Crisis. Get your copy of The Man Crisis in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.